Hey, it's Bill Maheras coming to you live from the Vieira Rockledge area here in Brevard County, Florida. If you're not a local peeps of mine, we are located on the East Coast. The best way to say it is look at Orlando, go due east, hit Cape Kennedy where the rockets go off, and that's pretty much where we are. So real quick, I just want to make sure, and you guys know I've done these videos before when luckily it's been a while because we haven't had a hurricane in a long time, at least one that we really had to be concerned about. By no means do I mean to minimize what we're getting ready to go through or kind of going through now. But you know, I don't want to be very energetic. I'd rather be engaging and maybe slightly entertaining if possible. We can get all the rest of that from the Weather Channel, local news. By the way, local news, I do like Channel 9. Channel 9 is pretty good as far as their maps and stuff. I'm really digging Channel 6, CBS. They've got this map that pushes all these buttons and they got debris flying up. They've got all this stuff. Miss Hess, thanks for joining me. Hopefully everything is good with you and your family and everybody's doing great right now. But anyway, I don't mean to minimize anything. Hopefully I can share some things that might be of use, might be kind of entertaining. But by all means, this is a serious time, but there's a lot of other people doing all the serious stuff, so I'm gonna leave that to them. Real quick, I do wanna show you outside the garage. We are, as I think if you've watched my post, I got the tripod working. You know, we're on a limited budget, but we got a few bucks to spare. So the only thing that concerns me right now from my house is the wind is blowing from left to right as you look on your screen. As I mentioned before, on the other side of my 18-year-old Ford Explorer, and you can see the grate across the street, we have a grate right there. We also have one, unfortunately, in the back between my back neighbor and myself. So all the water comes all the way down here from my right to my left. And a couple of years ago, that's when we got a little nervous when water came up to about where those bushes are. And about 8 or 9 feet, you can hear the thunder, about 8 or 9 feet from the back. So I don't like that it's blowing to the east because it's going to eventually come back west. I'd rather have it blow west and kind of blow past me and not be concerned about it later on. Really has not gotten real windy yet, nor has it really gotten a lot of heavy rain. We did get a lot last night and this morning. The one thing that is a concern, which I did mention earlier, is there are some tornado warnings in the south part of our county. It is moving a little bit northwest. So that's a little bit of a concern. Hurricanes, listen, we know Milton's coming. We've been preparing for it, thank goodness, for the past 4 or 5 days. Tornadoes, you just got no clue. You can watch the news, you know they're coming. You don't know when or where. You can't see it out there a lot of times if it's this kind of sky. So that's a little bit discerning. But anyway, that's kind of where we are. It looks like it's going to, I've got my weather dog, Kirkland, for those of you all that know Kirkland. Kirkland, how you doing today? You going to look outside? Kirkland's you want to let me flip. No, you don't, what? You're sniffing all right. Yeah, all right. Yeah, get back in there. Yeah, a lot of help he was. Anyway, but the one good thing is, at least for us over here on the east coast of Florida, it looks like it's going to unfortunately hit a little bit south of Tampa. Still might be a Category 3. It's going to hit them tonight about 8 o'clock. And the only reason that that's better, because a couple of days ago, it wasn't going to hit them until like 2 o'clock tonight. So the earlier it hits them, the earlier it gets through us and gets out. Probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow morning is going to be where Milton's eye might be sitting right on top of us. So that's a little discerning, but hopefully that also means by the midday, end of day tomorrow, Thursday, it's going to be off the coast. So I'm kind of glad that it's moving a little bit quicker. The quicker it gets here, the quicker that it can leave. I see my good friend Doug is watching, and Jeff, thanks for watching. So a couple things I want, and some of y'all might want to know why I got the hat on. Well, I did a video earlier today. I don't know, do we molt like in the winter? Do we lose our fur, our hair, whatever? Just saw a little lightning right there. So I got I've been cutting my own hair for 15 years, cut it kind of short. I was afraid that maybe the glare, which you're getting from my light up here, get a little nasty out there, so I didn't want to blind you all, so that's kind of why I have the hat. And I got a couple things I wanted to share, being an ex-administrator. I got my little notepad here. If you live here in Brevard, make sure you text 888-777. Again, it's 888-777. That's the Brevard EOC, what is that, Emergency Operations Center. Because let's say cable goes out and we're still able to get text or anything, or however that works, if the cell towers are still working. It's a great resource as far as weather updates, anytime a launch goes off, or anytime they have to open. If something happens at the EOC Center, right here in Rockledge, has to open, you'll get a text knowing that it's there. So 888-777, text that, add that to your contacts, whatever, so you can get updates. I did mention this last night, earlier today. If you have ridge vents like we do, if you don't already have kids that have a noodle, and you can see I do have my ladder open. I did hear as far as closing your doors during the time that the hurricane is coming, and opening up that helps with the pressure on the inside of your house as far as if and when it gets kind of nasty. I leave mine open because every hour or so I go up there to check to see if there is water dripping from the ridge vent. If there is, then I'm going to put one of these puppies in there. I don't like to do it too early just because I don't want it to get real hot up there. If you don't have a noodle, take some old clothes. Well, don't take my Eastern Florida shirt. Take some towels, wrap them in bubble wrap. If you like us, you get a lot of stuff from Amazon. I got a box over there full of bubble wrap. Put it in a plastic bag, something that's plastic that will deter the water from soaking up your towel, something I didn't do a couple years ago, and stuff that in your ridge vent. But you don't want water coming in there and getting on your drywall. I think I mentioned earlier, if you don't have sandbags, we got bags of mulch. Let's say you don't have sandbags, you don't have bags of mulch, you don't have topsoil, etc. Again, do the same thing like I just told you with the noodle. Get some towels, get old shirts, pants, whatever, wrap them in a garbage bag and stick those by your door. The concern that we had a couple years ago, and I got the glare coming into my face, is, I see Miss Shelton's watching, thanks for watching, Becky, is the way this wind whips. That's what caused the rain a couple years ago to come in underneath our sliding glass door, which we don't have those any longer. We've got French doors. It wasn't so much the water coming up to the house, it was the way the wind was blowing and that would whip it underneath the doors. So again, if you don't have sandbags, etc., wrap something in a garbage bag, put it by your doors to keep the water from blowing in and coming under. Got my flashlights, like I hope everybody else does have. Make sure you strategically place them somewhere in the house. Last thing you want to do is try to remember where you put all the flashlights. Put one in every room that you have somebody at the house, your kids, whatever. One thing I will suggest, though, if you don't do this already, when this puppy is gone and Milton is out in the Atlantic enjoying his time at sea, take the batteries out. When I was going through my batteries the other day, I had some that were expired from 2011. So I probably had those batteries from 2007 or 8. Plus, I had to throw out some flashlights because they got rusty inside. So when this puppy is gone, make sure you take the batteries out of the flashlights that you don't use every day. Speaking of batteries, if you don't have one of these already, I think I got this at Harbor Freight. Man, this thing is great. I think it cost me $7 or $8. Comes with a tester. I know you got them in a drawer somewhere. You got them in a shoebox. Put them in one of these, $7 or $8. This is great. Everything is where I know it. Got a tester, etc. And I had it somewhere. Like a lot of times when the hurricane doesn't come at the most opportune time, ours is going to come tonight. Don't like the noise. My better half is already got her earplugs. That way you don't hear the thunder, the lightning that we're starting to get right now, stuff blowing around. If you're like me, on nights like this, I don't sleep. I'll usually be hanging out on one of the sofas in the family room or living room so that I can stay tuned with the news if we don't have a power outage, and I can watch for water leaking in. So again, actually, I'm kind of thinking every night I might want to put these in. Just saying. There's a couple other silly things that I thought of. If you got kids and your kids have these, you know what? If you can still get out and your kids have a friend that lives a couple doors down, give them a walkie-talkie. Again, if you got kids at home, you got to keep them happy, keep them occupied. They don't want to be watching the Weather Channel 24/7. They don't need to be worrying about that. Give them some of these. I think I posted the other day, iPad, cell phone, laptop, download movies from Netflix, download their favorite shows from YouTube, so that if the power does go out, they can still watch their favorite shows. And you know what? If they watch something at 7 every night, turn it on at 7. Keep things kind of normal, keep things kind of consistent. But again, if you got kids at home, especially small kids, start thinking about what's entertaining. Download a book. If you don't want to, keep your flashlights on all the time and reading, download something to watch. A couple of things I was thinking about, and I do that sometimes. Everybody's got plenty of glasses. I think my son gave me this, got a little football glass working there. If you don't have frosted mugs, which if you're my age, most of us have frosted mugs, get some frosted mugs in the refrigerator or freezer. So that way, if your power does go out, so that you don't use or utilize all of your ice cubes, you're going to have some frosted glasses that will last for several hours that you can keep your drinks cold. Because again, I had friends several years ago and their electricity was out for a couple weeks. You want to use your ice sparingly. So I'm just thinking frosted glasses. If you didn't get any bottled water at Publix or Walmart, Target, wherever, I know you got 175 of these things sitting around the house. Fill them up with water. Then put them in the freezer, freeze them. Again, if the power goes out, these are your ice packs that go in your cooler. So again, you don't use all of your ice more than you have to. And hey, when it melts, it's still good to drink. Let's see what else I have on here. Oh, if you're like me, we just got new phones about 1.5 years ago. Our other phones were so old, they were going to give us like 20 or 30 bucks. So we said, you know what? We're just going to keep them for 20 or 30 bucks. So if you got extra cell phones sitting around the house, charge them up, again, in case your electricity goes out. And maybe that's where you download those videos for your kids to watch or for you to watch. And then that way you're not using your main phone to watch videos, etc., in case you can't charge. Oh, power goes out. You guys know this. Charge your phone right here in your vehicle with your cigarette lighter, USB, USB-C, whatever they got. So don't forget, you got a couple options here to charge your stuff up if you go out of electricity. And let's see, walkie-talkies. Oh, if you're like me, you're a NASCAR fan. I know you got a scanner. Charge that scanner up so then again, if everything goes out, you can listen to the weather, the news, etc. Oh, let's say you need AAA batteries or AA batteries and you didn't have a chance to get out. I guarantee you've got 3 or 4 TV remotes and Roku remotes that have batteries in them. Take those batteries out and put them wherever you need them. If you have a flashlight that takes small batteries, etc. So again, I know I have my noggin covered up. Use your brain matter. You got batteries sitting around somewhere in something that you might not need. Take those batteries and use them wherever you think you can. If you're thinking about you're going to have to put something by the door if water comes in, do yourself a favor, especially if the power goes out. Don't wait till the last minute. Get your blankets, towels, whatever you're going to wrap, whatever you're going to make your weather-resistant barrier with. Get your trash bags, get your plastic. You got bubble wrap like us, get all that stuff. I see Colton, we're doing good. That's my, gosh, do I call him my great nephew? Colton Smith from Charlotte, North Carolina, with a whole bunch of his friends, drove several trailers down, and we still want to keep them in our prayers. People in North Carolina, Georgia, still up here in the Big Bend area, they call it in Florida. Thank you, Colton, for doing all that. He went with his dad, Jeff. I don't want to call him my nephew because that makes me really old. My cousin, Jimbo, they all went. Thanks for helping out. And again, we got to remember those people are still suffering, and we wish them all the best too. But anyway, get all your stuff, get it all staged, get it next to your door, get your towels, get your plastic, get your bubble wrap if you're like us. Again, I got a box over there because we get Amazon every day. Probably not today. Get it ready in case you have to use that. Get your batteries. I think everything else I've gone over. Ice, you know what? You don't have baggies because maybe you didn't run out and get them.
Nap.
Put them in, huh?
Take a nap.
Take a nap. Take a nap. Make sure you put all that stuff in bowls, whatever. All right, so that's about it for now. I went through all my props. Again, I'll give you one last look if you're not here locally. Again, we want to make this informative, maybe a little entertaining or engaging. Not too bad. You can see not a lot of wind. We still do have tornado warnings in the south part of our county. But again, I wish you all well. I'm going to take off my hat, so hopefully I don't blind you with that forehead. Well, it's kind of like an 8 head now since I've shaved it. But starting to pick up a little bit. I'll flip that around so you see that and not me. Starting to pick up some. I wish you guys the best. I will probably come back on a little after 8 tonight. I know we're going to have an update at 5 and one at 8. And let you all know, especially if you don't live here locally, what we're doing. How we're doing. I wish everybody the best. God bless you. Keep your family safe. And Milton, get the hell out of Dodge because you're starting to tick me off. Take care, everybody.